Good evening, everyone. It's Liz Holloway here, and welcome. It's Wednesday, September the 5th. I think everyone's all back into roaming around and getting things all under control because it's school. It's probably for the teachers, it's school week. Anyways, just started. And so, anyways, I am here. Good evening. I'm just going to wait a couple seconds to make sure everything is working fine. I see Jojo and Karen and Tammy. Welcome, everyone. And so I think there's one more. I don't know who it is. So, anyways, I'm gonna be playing around with a stamp set in the holiday catalog, and what I'm gonna do is gonna switch right over to my my desktop here and zoom in into the catalog. I'm gonna just do this and add that. Okay, so some of you would have received this catalog from me, and it's an awesome catalog. I love it. Everything. It's also live today. You can actually start ordering it, and those who have received a coupon from an order in August, you can start using your coupon for the holiday catalog. And everything in here is absolutely beautiful. Is everyone? I hear that there is no sound. Can you guys hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can. Let me just type this. You all hear me? Yes. Okay. Good. Everyone, you guys all can hear me. Okay. So I apologize. So anyways, what you if you see these things like 10% off, this means that you get 10% off when you buy a bundle. Otherwise, it may not be carried over for next year's catalog. So if you are loving the catalog and you see what you want, get them now. Otherwise, you snooze, you lose, right? And there are a couple times when I've done that over the years that I wanted some Christmas stuff, and I decided that, you know what, I'm gonna go and bite the bullet, and it's gotta have. Anyway, so I'm not gonna go through all of the catalog itself. I will have some sent out manually through our post office system. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, so I'm going to be working on the Spirited Snowmen. And those who knows me, I love creating multi-mass cards just because I tend to do things more than once on one particular card. And so that way I don't have to clean up so many times. And so what I am going to show you is this step card that I've been playing around with. And again, if you know me, you know that I love things that are like 3D, kind of like floating in the air. And this one is called a step card. And so it's using I forget what the paper is, but it's using the Spirited Snowman. I have created an SVG file. So those who purchase the Spirited Snowman, I will pre-cut all the snowmen for you, and if you are on my team, I will also cut it for you too. Okay, and then also we are going to use this stitch label Thinlits Die, and this is this winter cheer here. Okay, so let's get started. We're gonna need an 8.5 by 8.5 by 5.5 cardstock. And what I have done was, because my cutting blade is not as sharp as I would like it to, I sent this through my cutter, and it's just basically an 8.5 by 11, just like this, and it's got the 2 scored lines. But I'm going to show it to you manually if you don't have an electronic cutter. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take let's say a light pen, and you're going to mark it from here to here about 3 inches. Okay, and then from here to here 6.5 inches. So then what I did was, or will be doing if you're doing it manually, take your ruler wherever it is. Okay, so this is marked at 1 inch, and then starting from the 1 inch, take your ruler. Okay, so this is 3 inch here, the 1 inch here. Take your ruler and your X-Acto knife and run it all the way down to about 5.5. Okay, and so like I said, my cutter is not the best, so I use my electronic cutter to cut everything out, and it saves me time from having to cut this manually. But if you are cutting it manually, go ahead and do that. Okay, so then what you're going to do is take your scoreboard, and if I have room here, hopefully. Okay, I'm going to take my scoreboard and the scoring bone folder, and then what you're going to do is you're going to score at 1 inch all the way down to the score line right here, and then you're going to go 2 inches and all the way down to the cutting line. Sorry, it should be the cutting line. Okay, then you're going to take 3 1/4, and then you're going to score this right down to the cut line. And then the next one, I think it's 4 1/2. I'll have all these measurements on my blog, hopefully, if I get my act together, and if work is not too busy, I will post all the measurements there. This card is called side steps, so it's just stepping. Okay, and then the last score line is at 6 1/2, and you're going to go right down to this cutting line. Okay, so if you are doing multiples, here's your 3 inch, and I've already cut it. Okay, I'm going to turn it over, and again, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 1/4 inch to this line, 4 1/2, and 6 1/2. Okay, and depending on which way you want it, I like the opening, or the more of a sentiment on the left hand side. And so right where these 1 inch score line, you're going to mountain fold. And so when I say mountain fold, it kind of like look like a mountain. Okay, and then you're going to valley fold the 2 inch, the 3 1/4 inch, you're going to mountain fold the 4 1/2 inch, you're going to valley fold, and then the 6 1/2 inch mountain fold. Okay, so once all those are folded, and I'm using the Whisper White thick cardstock, here's your bone folder, and then you're going to crease this, and that usually is creased at 4 1/4, and that makes your side step card. Okay, so then go ahead and crease all your folds. So I'll do it one more time. Okay, so here is my second one. I turn it over, so there's my 1 inch, mountain, valley, mountain, valley, mountain. And fold. See how fast it is once you get that cut and in your electronic cutter. I totally recommend buying an electronic cutter just so that you can actually cut things faster, and especially when you are creating a bunch of cards for craft shows, or a bunch of cards just to keep on hand, it's worth it. Okay, so the next thing is I'm gonna take my, now where'd it go? So this is now cut at 2 3/4 by 4 inches. And how I measure this is you take your ruler and you see it's measured at 3 inches. So take a 1/4 inch off. So the 1/4 inch is 2 3/4. And then here, this is 4 1/4. Take a 1/4 inch to make it a 4 inch. And then that way you'll have 1/4 of an inch all the way around. Okay, so I'm going to just use the glue. Take my glue, put this right on, and I'm using glue all the time now. I'm not even using my double-sided tape, just because the glue is so forgiving and you can move it all around your paper before it actually sets. Okay, so then what I have already done was I pre-cut all my little snowmen. Okay, and you see, got all these little snowmen. And like I said, if you are my customer or if you buy the snowman, spirited snowman, I will pre-cut this for you so that way you don't have to fussy cut. And I am looking for my stamparatus. Okay. So the stamparatus, and then put my platform here. And then what you're going to do is place your spirited snowman anywhere on the platform. Okay. And so here we're going to use the Momentum ink. And you're going to ink this up. Okay, and then place like a scrap paper right on here. And then what you're going to do is then stamp on the scrap paper. Okay, so then the second thing is that you'll have a negative piece, which is like here. And you're going to place this spirited snowman right along here, just as you align this up. Okay, I'm going to put my magnet here and magnet here. And then I'm going to stamp all my snowmen. So these are already cut. And every time when I stamp, I'm going to ink it up with my Momentum ink because I'm going to color it with the alcohol markers, the blends. Okay, and you're going to see how fast this goes. And there's no fussy cutting because it's all already, the template is already made. Okay. That's 2. There's 3. Okay, and then you just keep going until you run out of cuts. Oops, there's 4. I might as well stamp it all, right? Because I have 2 cards that I already made, but I'm not going. I'll make the second card later on. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, and 6. So this is the positive piece, and all I'm doing is just placing it down where my negative piece is and then stamping. And you'll know that this is one of the best way to align it and you don't have to worry about your snowman. Okay, so what I'll do is once I finish the cards, I'll go and answer all your comments if you guys have any, and if you have any questions, just go ahead and shoot, type in your messages, and I will you know, I'll answer it just right after the class. Okay, so then what I want to do is create this snowman. So this is the actual card. I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to color all 3 of them the same color. So I'm just using my regular marker, the real red marker, and coloring his hat in real red.
Hey, where are your keys, by the way?
Hold on a second. Pardon?
Car keys?
My car keys are in my bag.
Where's your bag?
On the ground or somewhere.
Upstairs?
Yep. Okay, so I'm going to take this and just color it all red. I'm just going to color them all the same color. So then that way you don't have to really think about what you're coloring. Okay, and then there. And what am I missing? Okay, so then I'm going to take the pool party and oh, I made him different too. I reversed the colors. Okay, and then here his arm's going to be in the blends. So pretty brown color. And just use it for his branch. Okay, and let's see if I missed something. I think I missed his buttons here. And this guy. Okay, so now I want to make the snowman kind of like having a cartwheel, and so I'm going to start also color his nose, his carrot nose. That's done. Okay, so then now I wanted to make it into a cartwheel. So just gonna take one, apply the glue right onto the back of the branch, and then figure out which way he wants it to be cartwheeled. Okay, and then this guy, he's gonna go like that. Yeah, he's gonna go like this. Okay, so and then again, putting a bit of glue right at the back. Okay, and then taking this and using dimensionals. Oh, I also got to make sure that I don't put any dimensionals on over here, because he's doing cartwheels, and so you don't want your dimensionals sticking. Okay, so there's the two, and then I'm going to stick another one right here, and then probably run right on the body here. And release all of these. You can have nails. You can press down, and then it will release the backing sheet. Okay, and then this gets stuck down. And then I'm not going to stick this down just as of yet, because right here, this bottom piece, I want to make sure that I have my Dazzling Diamond, which is this glitter paper. It's Dazzling Diamond glimmer sheet, and it's lovely. And then, so what I did was I already cut this at 2 1/4, and you can see by measuring your paper, it's at 2, actually 2 1/2, and then less a quarter would be 2 1/4. Okay, and then so you know that this is 1 inch. So I'm gonna cut. Sorry, this is not stamping up, but it works for my little working space here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this at 1 inch. So this is, I'm going to cut this here, 1 inch. Okay, and then glue this back. And just glue this right over top. And then put this guy down. Okay, and then the back is also 1 inch, but what I recommend doing is cutting it a little bit bigger than the 1 inch. Let's go 1 1/2. No, too big. Okay, and then this piece here, I'm going to shape it like a hill. Just like that. And then I'm going to glue that guy down. This is on the 2 inch score line. And if it doesn't fit, don't worry, because you're not going to see the very bottom. No one's going to take a look inside. Move your hill up a little bit if you cut it too short. Okay, so I cut the hill part too short. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is take my acetate. I'm going to glue the bottom. Okay, and then you just want to make sure that you have enough room at the top so that it lines up to the fold line, which I do have. And this is 2 1/2 by 4 1/4. Okay, and then the next thing is I'm going to cut another piece up to cover the back. So I probably want about 2 1/4 or 2 1/2. So this is 2, probably right here at 2 1/2. And then again, my hill. So the first hill I already cut and I already dipped it, right? So then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, let's see how it went. So I'm gonna probably make a mound. I'm gonna take my paper snip and make a mound like that. And you want it to make it so that it's in different intervals or in also the different shapes. Okay, and so I have that there, which I'm very pleased at. I'm gonna put glue right at the back and add this guy here. Okay, so now I'm done with that piece, and I'm gonna bring in my Big Shot. So the Big Shot, I'm using the Blizzard die, which is in the holiday catalog. Okay, and then the leftover piece of, wherever did it go? Where did it go? Okay, hold on a second. Ah, right here. So I have leftover piece of the dazzling diamond. I got my magnetic plate right at the bottom, and I recommend using a magnetic plate because this die is very intricate, and it's really hard to die cut when you're using a regular plate. So where the steel plate is, or the magnet plate, what I did was I like to run this through the metal plate, okay, and at the same time also like to run this upside down. The reason why is that you got all these little crystal here. Sometimes it's hard to cut through it, so it's better to cut it upside down. And so here I got my plate, take the second acrylic, and then run it through. And I recommend going back and forth twice or 3 times, up to you, just as long as it cuts. Okay, so here is my paper, and it cut all the way through, so I don't need this anymore. And so I'm going to take my scissors and just kind of punch it through. I don't recommend using thick cardstock. Okay, so then there's my snowflakes. It's very pretty, just like that. Okay, and then taking the glue and just adding it right here, right on the acetate. And so it looks like the snow is just like flowing right through, right? It looks like it's falling. Okay, so I'm going to add another one over here. So here's this one. It got hot. Okay, and then add my glue, and my snowflake fell down. To where? Here's the second glue, snowflake here. And then if you want another snowflake, come on, it's gotta stick. You want a second snowflake, you can use a bigger one or even the smaller one. So you just punch out the smaller one, and then you can put a snowflake right where your paper is. And if that's too small, then take your bigger one or cut out another piece. Here, and this die is called Blizzard. Okay, and then I'm going to just put him right there. So all I need is just glue right on this piece and glue right here and here. Place that on. Okay, and that's why he's not sticking, because I forgot to release this paper. Okay, and then add that guy right here. Okay, so one last step is to take, where's my die? You know when you put things away, you can't seem to find it. Here it is. This is called the Stitched Label Framelits, and I love this label framelit. It's a to-go die for sure. Okay, going to bring back my Big Shot. And scrap paper. Okay, and then I'm going to put my die in there and then crank them through. Yay! Love those hearts. Yes, I love it, love it, love it. Okay, and then I'm going to start poking these guys out. So this is the stitch frame labels, and you see how you got it's all die cut, and then you see around the ring it looks like it's got a bit of stitched. Love, love, love. Okay, and then highly recommend putting it all back where it belongs. And then when it comes to stamping, you're going to take your momentum ink again. Oops, wrong way. This one. Okay, Winter Cheers. Stamp it right in the middle. Ah, didn't work. You know what? It always have two sides. So again, stamp it right in the middle. There you go, Winter Cheers. And then you're going to take your scrap paper again. Okay, stamp the holly. And then you're going to take your apple green, Granny. And just kind of quickly color this guy in. And again, if you are using your electronic cutter, I would probably have a SVG for this particular file, and then have it all cut out, and then all you're going to do is just go ahead, boom, 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 boom with your Stamparatus. Okay, so then I'm going to cut this out by hand. And yes, sometimes I do this by hand. Scissors, okay, and you see how my paper moves as well as my scissors, but mostly my paper is moving while I'm chomping down with the scissors. And this will get you the cuts that you want. Okay, and then the last thing is to take your any type of black marker, Sharpie pens, and go ahead and line the edges up. And the reason why I do that is because sometimes when you raise your images, your stamped images, you see the actual line right here, right? The white seen through. And I hate that. That's one of my pet peeves. And so what I do is I take the black Sharpie pen and mark the edges. And it looks nicer that way. Okay, and then so here I'm going to pop it up with dimensionals and using the mini dimensionals. Release that. Add Winter Cheers. And then add this guy. You can pop this guy up as well with regular dimensionals. If I have it somewhere. Oh well, I'm going to use the mini dimensionals. So I'm going to turn this on the back. Remove. Okay. And add Winter Cheers. There you go. Pretty, isn't it? Okay. Stairs, this is called the side step, and then when they open it up, you can write your message here. You can even add more snowflakes if you want, and you can even add your rhinestones right here, right where the snowflakes are. Okay, and so it looks like the snowflake is floating in the air, And I just lost my piece of Dazzling Diamond Snowbank. I'm just going to add it back on. Hold it there. And that is it. So, yes, I love all those hearts, right? Those are awesome, awesome. Yes, and again, my clients will get all the SVG files for the Spirited Snowman when you buy this set. If you don't have electronic cutter, one of my customer service will be cutting electronically for my customers, whoever buys any stamps from me. And that is what I do for everyone who buys products from me. So anyways, I shall see. I think I'm here next week. Yes, I will be back next week at 7:30, same time on the same page, and I'll work on something different and try to teach you something differently. Okay, so anyways, it is 8:02 Wednesday evening, and I shall see you next week. Bye! If you have any questions, I can be reached at liz.holloway@gmail.com or visit my blog www.lizhollowaydesign.ca and the following Facebook pages, Liz Holloway
If you
Design,
have any questions,
or the
I can be
Paper
reached at
Fanatics.
liz.holloway@gmail.com or the following Facebook pages, Liz Holloway Design, Canadian Papercraft Cards and Scrapbook. Thanks for joining in and have a great day.